We're joined by Raj Bipinbhai Hadvani, who's the Chief Executive Officer at Gopal Snacks, who's joining us now. Mr. Hadvani, before I move on to how Q3 has panned out, the big talking point, of course, is the fire that broke out in December in one of your Gujarat factories. That factory contributes around 70% of your total production, but 50% of it was already recovered in 2 days, is what the update was. I just want to understand, overall as to what the loss has been like because of, the fire that broke out in the factory, and how has it impacted Q3 overall, and how is the recovery looking like now?
See, fire was an incident, and we have from that you are mentioned right that the plant was contributing around 70% of the total revenue, and we have covered till date. We have covered 65 to 70% of that revenue. So we are from the end of the March, we are expecting 90 plus percentage of the coverage will do. And the quarter was a little bit bad because of the one of the few reason is the palm oil, and because of the palm oil and the potato. So from this quarter onwards, I think we see the stability in palm oil as well, and the potato price is also will be from the February crop is coming, so it will also be in control.
Okay, Mr. Advani, you mentioned that the inflationary pressure continues. Palm oil has risen quite a bit, and that is impacting your margins as well. In terms of Q3, the margins slid to around 3.86 odd percent, which has not been the normative range. I want to understand that what are the steps that you're taking to kind of control this inflationary pressure? Are you planning to replace palm oil with something else? And when do you expect margins to come back to the normative range? Because it's not just the inflationary pressure, but it's also the production that is ramping up for you, which is kind of impacting the margins.
You are right. There are multiple reasons for the margin pressure. One is this fire incident. After the fire incident, we have recovered our plant, but it will take around few months. But compared to the December month, we have recovered in terms of costing as well, because we have jumped up our production in Gondal unit, and we have also added few packaging machines in our other two plants as well. And for the inflation we have done, we have reduced few grammage in our products, and we have changed the packaging packaging size as well, which will contribute to the more of a little bit more of a margin. So we have corrected in terms of grammage in our few products, and packaging size as well.
So Raj, my question to you is, you mentioned that you have been trying to come back on track in terms of manufacturing. So what was your capacity utilization pre-fire, and where is it now, and how much time will you take to get back to pre-fire levels in terms of the capacity? And what's the overall financial impact? Any number that you've ascertained so far?
We are fully insured, so we are still looking at the number, because we haven't received the final amount from the insurance company as well. But it around 100 CR, and the recovery you are asking, that I already mentioned that we have recovered 70% of our Rajkot unit production, which contributes 70% of our total revenue. And from by end of the March, we target that 90+% will recover of the Rajkot unit, which used to contribute 70% of the total revenue.
Okay. And from here on, taking into consideration the kind of competition that's coming in, what is the plan from being a regional player to probably expanding your horizon in terms of geographies?
So in in that case, we are expanding our distributors in non-core states, so which are Jharkhand, UP, Chhattisgarh, Telangana. So we are adding more and more distributors, mostly 30 plus distributor in a month, and that will contribute our non-core growth from our Nagpur plant.
Okay, Mr. Hadvani, in terms of your segmental performance, wafers is something that has seen a significant amount of growth, and this is a question that I've been asking other snack producers as well. Are you seeing an overall shift in terms of how consumers are now consuming snacks? Because what I'm seeing is that people are now shifting towards more of modern snacks as compared to traditional snacks, but your forte is traditional snacks. How are you reading that, and do you see an overall impact on Gopal Snacks?
Our growth in chips is because of late entry into the segment. We were there in namkeen since 30 years, but in chips we entered a few years back only. So that also contributes a major jump in wafer sales. And yes, we are also focusing more on the western part of the segment. And in in this industry, namkeen is also growing and western snack is also growing. But western snack as a modern snack, and people are urbanizing more, so we see good growth in both segments. But for us, western is more because we were there in traditional, and now we are more focusing on western snacks as well.
Okay, Mr. Advani, one last question to you. 9 months FY25, you've done 1,500 odd crores already in terms of top line. And in terms of bottom line, it's been around 85 odd crores. I just want to understand, overall, from a longer term perspective, how does FY26 look like? What will be the top line growth that you're, kind of penciling in? And also, how do margins fare by FY26? Because I believe by the end of FY26, your ramping up pretty much will be done and margins will stabilize.
In 2026, for sure, we are expecting more than industrial growth, which lays around 10 plus percent of the segment of the segment growth. And another is uh, can you repeat the question?
Just in terms of margins, Mr. Hadvani, what do you expect? Will margins stabilize by the end of FY26, and what will be the levels at which they'll stabilize?
Okay. So yes, margin will stabilize our existing margin, which used to be EBITDA of 11%, and it will be there at 11%. Around 11% will protect that margin.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us on the show and sharing your views. So that's the management of Gopal Snacks, clearly laying out the impact, the outlook, and what's the road looking like with regards to expansion from here on. The stock pretty much not doing much right now on a YTD basis, has given up nearly 18 to 19% in trade.